name is Mark Hudzik. I am Vice Chair for the Roanoke Regional Chamber of Commerce, and I also chair our Public Policy Committee. I want to welcome you to the 2016 State of the County Roanoke Address presented by the Chairman of the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors, Jason Peters. And at the Chamber of Commerce, we really feel like that legislation, public policy drives workforce development, economic development, and this is just another event in many, including State of the City we just had. We had the governor in here with his cabinet. We had the legislative wrap-up. So throughout the year, we think it's very important to keep you up to date on recent legislation, public policy, and things that are going to affect your business and also your personal life. Roanoke County has had its fair share of accomplishments this year, and there are many exciting things on the horizon for the county, many of which you're going to hear about today. But before we get started, I have a lot of special guests to recognize. Please hold your applause or we're going to be here all morning long. First one I'd like to recognize is Senator David Sutherland. He's here today. Delegate Chris Head, saw Chris here earlier. Roanoke County Supervisors, George Assad, Al Bedrosian, Martha Hooker, Joe McNair, and Jason Peters. Roanoke City Council members, Bill Bespich, Michelle Dystra, Ray Ferris, Anita Price, and Mayor Sherman Lee. Vinton Mayor Brad Gross. Roanoke County School Board members, Don Butzer, Tim Greenway, Jason Moretz, Mike Wray, Jerry Canaday. Roanoke County Manager Tom Gates, Roanoke County Treasurer Kevin Hutchins, Vinton Town Manager Barry Thompson, Roanoke City Manager Chris Morrill, Salem City Manager Kevin Bogus, Congressman Griffith's office, we've got Jennifer Fadines, Congressman Goodlad's office, Christine Broughton, Senator Tim Kaine's office, Gwen Mason. Round of applause, please, for all of our special guests today. And before I introduce our first speaker, let me take a moment to thank Green Ridge Recreation Center for hosting today's event. It's just an incredible facility, and I hope today, if you're not utilizing this facility, you have a chance to tour the facility before you leave. We could not do this without our sponsors, and I'm going to shortly, we'll go through those: Appalachian Power, Carilion Clinic, Cox, First Citizens Bank, Poe and Crunk Real Estate Group, and RGC Resources. Our first speaker is Chairman of the Roanoke County School Board, Mike Wray, and they gave me this long bio, but I've known Mike a long time, and if you know Mike, he is all about making this a better community. He has done so much. I've worked with him on the YMCA board for years. He's been on one of our focus groups at Member One. He's been on the school board since 2015, Roanoke Higher Education Board of Trustees, Roanoke County Board of Supervisors 2004 through 2008, Radford University Board of Visitors 2012 through 2015. He brings a wealth of local government and education knowledge to the school board, and Roanoke County is fortunate to have him as a chairman. Ladies and gentlemen, Chairman of the Roanoke County School Board, Mike Wray.
Thank you, Mark. I appreciate that. As Mark said, I'm Mike Wray, Chairman of the Roanoke County School Board, representing the Cave Spring District. I'd like to thank the Regional Chamber of Commerce and the Board of Supervisors for the opportunity to speak to you this morning to showcase the achievements and excellence of our school system and to talk about where we're headed in the future. First, I'd like to introduce the members of the Roanoke County School Board. Vice Chairman Tim Greenway, representing the Vinton District. Don Busser, representing Catawba. Y'all can stand up if you like. Jason Moretz, representing Windsor Hills. And Jerry Canada, representing the Hollins District, but Jerry couldn't be with us this morning. He is traveling this morning and probably sleepy after watching the World Series game last night. I'd also like to introduce several members of our school administration who are with us this morning. Dr. Greg Killow, our superintendent. Penny Hodge, Assistant Superintendent of Finance and Operations. And Dr. Rebecca Eastwood, Assistant Superintendent for Human Resources and Instruction. Raise your hand, Rebecca. I know you're bashful. and several other of our directors and leaders from our central office. In 2015-16 school year, our students have excelled both inside and outside the classroom. We're extremely proud that all our schools are fully accredited by the Virginia Department of Education. This is an accomplishment that becomes more challenging every year to changing of state and federal standards and requirements. We're especially proud to announce that Green Valley Elementary was a Blue Ribbon School this year, one of only 329 schools in the whole nation. The Blue Ribbon School Award is the highest honor a school can earn, and we're very proud of the students, parents, and staff at Green Valley. We're very privileged this morning to have the principal, Ashley McCallum, here with us. Ashley, please stand and let us give her a round of applause. Ashley. I tease Ashley a lot because I go by that school right much in Green Valley, and Saturdays, Sundays, I see her vehicle out there, so she puts in a lot of time. So Ashley, thank you. Glenborough Middle School and William Byrd Middle School were named schools to watch earlier this year. These two schools joined Hidden Valley and Northside Middle Schools to earn this prestigious distinction. Mount Pleasant Elementary has again been named a distinguished Title I school by the Virginia Department of Education. The class of 2016 had more than 94% of our seniors to graduate on time. This is one of the highest on-time graduation rates in the region. In fact, our on-time graduation rate has remained near or above 90% for many years. In the 2015-16 school year, more than 1,000 students earned college credit while still in high school by taking dual enrollment courses through Virginia Western Community College. With the dual enrollment, a student can take an advanced class in high school and earn college credit at the same time. We want to thank Virginia Western and President Bobby Sandel for their partnership in providing opportunities for our students to get started on their higher education. And I was talking to John Murphy, who is with the county this morning. And John, I'm not embarrassing you, but I know you're very proud of your son, who went through the dual enrollment program. And he actually went in as a freshman. They reevaluated his credits, and he's now going to be a junior. So he skipped his sophomore year. And he's also going to be a doctor. So John, he'll take care of you in the future. The class of 2016 earned nearly $14 million in scholarships to help pay for future education. $14 million. Also, our graduates earned more than 1,000 career and technical education industry certificates, such as workplace readiness, WISE financial literacy, CompTIA, and ASE student certification, and more. These certifications will help our students secure good-paying jobs and careers. Our board recognized the discrepancies in compensation for our teachers. We directed staff to work with Evergreen Solutions and develop a compensation study which allowed us to implement a new salary structure for our teachers. This increased teacher pay, making our salaries more competitive in the region. We finished a major renovation and expansion at Glenborough High School, and we're in the process of renovating the locker rooms at William Byrd High School. Our next major project is the much-needed improvement at Cave Spring High School, a 48-year-old facility built in 1968. We're currently working on a facility study to help us determine the future needs at our current facilities. We also completed this year a detailed long-range demographic study to help us predict enrollment over the next 10 years and beyond. This will help us develop a new capital improvement plan in partnership with Roanoke County government. We've expanded our laptop program to include 7th and 8th grades. This provides every student in grades 7 through 12 with the technological resources to learn and be successful, as well as develop key skills needed after high school. Our technological program has been a tremendous success for more than a decade, and we're becoming a model for other school systems across the nation. In 2013 and again in 2015, we were named the top digital school system in the nation in our enrollment category by the National School Board Administration. We're continuing our focus to expand our curriculum in career and technical education, or CTE, opportunities to students through internships and new courses. New this year, we're teaching cybersecurity, thanks to a partnership with Radford University. Also, we're teaching Level 1 EMT courses, thanks to a partnership with the Roanoke County Fire and Rescue Department, Jefferson College of Health Science, and Virginia Western Community College. It takes a very special person to become a teacher. We're partnering with Virginia Western and Radford University to develop a teacher preparation program that will help train our next generation of teachers. We're partnering with the YMCA Y Splash program to help teach second grade students basic swim lessons and water safety. This year, we're expanding this program so that even more students can learn these life-saving skills. Each summer, we're partnering with school systems in Roanoke City, Salem City, Craig County, and Botetourt County for our Load the Bus school supply drive. And in 2016, it was the largest drive ever to collect supplies to help students start the school year with the tools they need to be successful. In Roanoke County alone, we collected more than $19,700 worth of school supplies. We're shifting the focus of education from traditional, passive learning to active, project-based, hands-on learning experiences where students learn to discover knowledge instead of simply being given information. Please see for yourself.
We're having our Children's Engineering Night here at Mountain View, where we involve the community. We bring in some outside organizations to show kids how STEM is incorporated throughout their lives. I think making those real-world connections helps kids to bridge that gap between what we're teaching in the classroom and how it carries over into being an adult, and I think that's how we're preparing children.
Well, Be the Change was an idea that began over the summer in a graduate school class I was taking. So my friend Will Krause is an assistant principal at Breckenridge, and I called Will up and I said, hey, I got this idea for putting our students together, having them collaborate and communicate online to work on some common projects. The students were able to create commercials, and real commercials that were usable in our area. Yet they had to think about their audience, think about their message, and they had to get out something that would grab people's attention, and that's how we impacted local change.
The students are doing their brain project presentations, where they have already consulted with a group of neurologists, psychologists from Carilion, and this is their putting the presentation together with their model, their PowerPoint, and their background knowledge on the question that they came up with for their brain project. We've been doing this project for 5 years now, and the number of students that want to go into psychology just because of this project alone is about half. And the one thing is that the psychologist here can tell the students all the fields that are open to them, not just one medical field. So it is wonderful for the kids to get a little taste of what the outside world is like in the psychology world.
We've been working with Trout Unlimited for probably about 10 years now, and each year they provide the tank, they provide all the supplies. So at the start of the year we get a couple hundred eyed eggs from Paint Bank Trout Hatchery. They send them down to us, and then we raise them to fingerling stage and then release them into cold water streams in the area. It's one thing to tell the kids about water quality, it's another thing to show it to them. And when they can see it, and when they can do it, and they can feel it, it definitely makes a difference, and it's definitely something that helps them wrap their mind around some of those water quality parameters. For us, we go back and we reteach, and we see the tank throughout the year as a tool to help teach these kids about, again, good stewardship and possible career opportunities in science.
So it started out really on social media. Angels of Assisi posted a little article or link of interest about this goat that had an injury and was born without a couple legs on one side of its body. So our school's ITRT reached out and asked them if there's anything we could do as a school, if the kids could develop some kind of a device to help the goat to walk. And so our tech ed teacher, Ms. Pat Smith, got a couple students involved, and they began to design multiple prototypes, printed multiple things on a 3D printer here, and got some metal devices that they had worked with other kids in tech ed labs here, and ultimately got about 4 or 5 different prototypes they tried to have her fit into, what she could walk in, and in the end, we finally got her by the end of that school year to be able to walk her first steps ever in her life actually here in the school, so it was incredible. I think those students had to realize this stuff doesn't come easy, and if it was, that's not how you get to this kind of greatness, to be able to make an animal walk that had never done it.
I think the mechatronics robotics students have a real advantage of being able to have access to not just mechatronics robotics, it's general manufacturing that is so helpful to these students as they prepare to enter the workforce. We have industry here in the region that is very interested in obtaining students who have these specific skills, and when they get to work on the type of equipment that we're able to provide, it's very helpful. Roanoke Region Home Builders Association has come alongside our building trades program specifically here at Burton Center to work with our students, to advertise what we do, but also provide exposure for our students to industry-related projects and opportunities. So Roanoke Region Home Builders has come and offered the opportunity for our students to be involved with the home show that is put on, I believe, twice a year. Our students build different structures that the Home Builders Association then shows and auctions off. It's a win-win for both organizations, Roanoke Region Home Builders and for the Roanoke County Public Schools Building Trades program, specifically working with those students who are working in carpentry, plumbing, and electric. Emergency Medical Technician is a great collaborative between Roanoke Fire and Rescue, Jefferson College of Health Sciences, and Roanoke County Schools. The collaboration between all these organizations that I just mentioned has been really fun to see, and is quite the opportunity for students who want to enter the medical field in an exciting opportunity as a EMT, but then also maybe thinking more broad if they want to jump into further their education, jump into paramedic, or even maybe emergency room work, etc. Welding partnered with the Roanoke County Sheriff's Department and Sheriff Orange and his crew, and they did a great job collaborating on a drug take-back box that serves the community, and from what I hear is used extensively now. It's in place at the Sheriff's Office, and the welding students did a great job fabricating that.
It is amazing, and what kids can do today in school and what opportunities they have today. You know, when I went to school, it was like reading, writing, arithmetic. That was what you had. And Joe, it was not a one-room schoolhouse. But you can see all the opportunities that the kids have today. While these accomplishments and programs are outstanding and truly something to celebrate, there's so much more coming in the future. Here's where you come in. We want to make connections with you. As I've mentioned, we're already partnering with several organizations represented here this morning, but we want to do more. We want to partner with your organization. We want to reach out and see how we can help you meet your workforce development goals. How can we work together to help train the next generation of doctors, engineers, carpenters, plumbers, technicians, mechanics, machinists, chefs, and so many more? We know you need a trained workforce. Through our CTE programs, we're here to help provide that training, and we want to partner with you. Today, the Burton Center for Arts and Technology is bursting at the seams. Nearly every single available spot has been filled, and we're looking for ways to accommodate even more students in the coming years. We're working with other area school systems and Virginia Western Community College to try to determine how together we can provide even more career and technical education opportunities for students all across the Roanoke Valley. We're hoping you can help us. We live in the Roanoke Valley, not just Roanoke County. We're competing in regional environment, and we need to operate as a region. While we may be an independent school system, that doesn't mean we're on an island. We have to work together. Right, Anita? Right, Sherman? We need you to help us achieve our goals, but we also need to help you achieve your goals. We're very fortunate in Roanoke County to have such a strong working relationship between the school system and the county government. As Chairman Peters will discuss in a few moments, we're working together to make connections all across the Roanoke Valley. We're connecting students to opportunities. We're helping to connect opportunities to jobs. We're partnering with our community in Roanoke County to connect jobs to economic development. Thank you for supporting our school system. As you can see, many great things are happening in our schools, and we're very excited for what will happen in the future. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce my friend, Jason Peters, Chairman of the Roanoke County Board of Supervisors. Jason.
I told Mike earlier that I was going to wear my Cubs jersey this morning, but my wife said no. So here I am. Good morning. It is truly a pleasure to be here this morning to talk to you about the state of the county. Before I begin, I would like to acknowledge my colleagues on the Board of Supervisors. We have worked together this past year to make so many positive changes for our community. Supervisor McNamara, Supervisor Bedrosian, Supervisor Hooker, and Supervisor Acid. Thanks to each of you for your leadership, your engagement, and your commitment to the citizens of Roanoke County. I do want to offer a special word of gratitude to Supervisors Hooker and Acid, who are just about ready to complete their first full year on the board, and they've made it. They've committed countless hours serving on the board, but they've also spent a great deal of time working with our staff to truly understand how Roanoke County government functions. I can tell you firsthand, you can't fully understand and appreciate the work of a public servant until you run that first EMS call. You complete a solid waste route. You observe a 911 dispatcher help someone in crisis. Or you talk with a social worker about the challenges they face each and every day. But again, thank you, Martha, and to George for their efforts this year. I also want to acknowledge my friends over at the Roanoke County School Board and our school superintendent, who ensure that Roanoke County schools are the finest in the region and in the Commonwealth. I want to recognize my colleagues in the cities of Roanoke and Salem, the town of Benton, the counties of Botetourt, Franklin, and Montgomery. I want to thank you for being here, and I also want to thank you for the excellent relationships that we've developed as we work to improve the Roanoke Valley. I want to thank our friends over at the Regional Partnership, Visit Virginia's Blue Ridge, the Regional Commission, the Roanoke-Blacksburg Council, the Airport Commission, the Water, Broadband, and Resource Authorities. I appreciate you being here and everything you do. I also want to thank our nonprofit organizations that contribute to our community in so many ways. People like Annette Lewis, Wendy Jones, Afida DeFries, Annette Patterson, and so many others that have a never-ending passion for improving our valley. I want to thank our generous business community, many of which are here with us today, but many are not. But I want to thank you for moving our economy forward, but also you commit time and money and energy to this place that we call home. Members of our business community, they take leadership positions on a number of local boards and commissions. They sponsor community events, provide guidance and feedback on our policies, and on occasion, they work to ensure that local concerns are heard and addressed in Richmond. It's good to see our state and federal elected officials here with us today as well. I want to thank you for your leadership on behalf of the Roanoke Valley and the entire region. But lastly, and I try to finish every board meeting this way, there's a group of people that I want to acknowledge that without them, I would have very little to talk about today. They are the reason that here in Roanoke County, local government works, and that's our employees. They are also at the direction of my county administrator, Tom Gates, and I appreciate everything that they do and appreciate Tom and his leadership. But I truly appreciate all of you and your connections to our valley. I hope that everyone received a button this morning when you sat down. Take this as a reminder of all the great things that are happening in the county and how it's all connected. The 419 Town Center, Explore Park, broadband, our airport, it's all connected. Last year I talked about the things we needed to do to move our community forward. I asked for the commitment of my colleagues on the board to debate, to consider, and to act upon the things that matter most to our future. Today, I'm pleased to stand here and tell you we've made much progress during this past year. Our county and our region have never been better positioned for economic growth and prosperity that we all desire. Our successes this year, as with every other year, are not ours alone. Let me highlight the efforts of the City of Roanoke, the City of Salem, Botetourt County, Virginia Tech, and Carilion to expand our shared economic horizon. The Deschutes announcement puts Roanoke City and the region in a national spotlight and says, look at us. There's something exciting happening here. Come be a part of it. We all got a little more cool when Deschutes decided to settle here. The Eldor announcement, like Deschutes, has greater importance than just new local jobs and investment. International companies like Eldor strengthen our reputation as a competitive location for large business and industry. And you cannot overstate the significance of the Virginia Tech Carilion Research Institute's recent announcement to expand its campus. It will bring researchers and hundreds of new students to our doorstep. In the words of our Roanoke City Manager, Chris Morrill, we are truly making the turn from Train City to Brain City. Of course, we've always known that our community is an exceptional place to live and work. Now others know as well. Last year at the State of the County address, I told you about a strategic planning process that would provide a blueprint for the county's direction for years to come. This past spring, our community came together to develop the county's first ever strategic plan. Some 900 people attended meetings, they took surveys, and they shared their best ideas with us. I, along with my colleagues on the board, spent many hours discussing the county's future with our citizens, and we heard what they believe success might look like. We heard concerns about transportation and the need to be connected as a community through better roads, pedestrian and bicycle-friendly streets, sidewalks, and greenways. We heard the desires of economic growth, better jobs, technology jobs, and how we need to prepare a workforce to meet the demands of tomorrow. We heard about education and how everything we do must be built on the foundation of public school excellence. We heard about the quality of life and how important it is to appreciate the beautiful amenities around us. We heard the importance of connecting every struggling child and family to the resources they need for success. We heard about public safety and how community partnerships can better protect everyone's right to a peaceful life. Our citizens have told us what their vision of success for Roanoke County looks like. We are working now to make that vision a reality. Last year, I promised we would take a focused look at our economic development by concentrating on projects that trigger new investment and become catalysts for growth. Our priorities have been clear. First, to implement broadband in the county. Secondly, to move Explore Park from a concept to reality. Third, to redevelop the Tanglewood Mall area. And fourth, to work with our partners to do what we can to improve the Roanoke-Blacksburg Regional Airport and other transportation options both into and within our valley. Because of the board's investment in the Broadband Authority, Roanoke County will soon see 25 miles of communication fiber along its major transportation corridors. When complete, our region will host 75 miles of high-speed data infrastructure for business, government, and education. Soon our community will be positioned to offer new business and entrepreneurs reliable, redundant, and cost-effective communications. It is undeniable that the demand for data services will grow exponentially in the coming years. It is also clear that data infrastructure is no less important to tomorrow's economy as transportation is to today's economy. With this investment, our county and our region stakes its claim in the marketplace of tomorrow. This past year, we also saw the development of Explore Park's master plan. The plan is the most thoughtful and achievable proposal that we've seen for this property to date. In short, the Explore Park Master Plan has something for everyone: runners and hikers, mountain bike enthusiasts, disc golf players, horseback riders, backwood campers. They'll all find their place at Explore Park. The plan envisions some $60 million of private sector investment from outdoor adventure companies, concession providers, and event organizers. At completion, the park is conservatively expected to generate in excess of $240 million annually for our region in meals, lodging, and tourism-related revenue. Explore Park will be the capstone for recreational tourism that brings both distinction and economic growth to our region. With foresight and strategic local investment, Explore Park will finally be what so many have envisioned and worked for: a place that blends the financial benefits of tourism with the region's focus on outdoor recreation. In this past year, Roanoke County and my friends over the town of Vinton have worked to redevelop former public facilities into commercial ventures desired by the community. The former Roland E. Cook School, the former Williamburg High School, and the old Vinton Library demonstrate the importance of redevelopment in our economic progress. And I'm sure, and I hope that all of you know by now, Tanglewood Mall has been sold. The board endorsed an idea to reimagine the Tanglewood Mall area this past January. The 419 Town Center Plan envisions a mix of retail and living space to re-energize our greatest commercial corridor. As the plan came together, something interesting happened. We started receiving phone calls from companies experienced in mall development and redevelopment. They asked us about Tanglewood Mall, but then they also started asking us about our market. Shortly after that, it was announced that Tanglewood Mall was up for sale. The announcement of the sale in September was long anticipated, and we are absolutely thrilled that our new owners, Blackwater Resources, share our belief that redeveloping this property can spark new investment in the county. The addition of the redeveloped Tanglewood Mall to anchor the 419 Town Center brings the possibilities of a walkable, connected style of living not available anywhere else in our county. It will also give a new model for future planning for our community, a model that brings commercial and residential development together, supported by modern transportation and communication infrastructure. In September, we held our kickoff event for the 419 Town Center Plan, and I listened to nearly 150 people describe the kind of place that they want to live and to visit. We heard that many of our citizens are attracted to places that allow them to easily access shopping, restaurants, entertainment, and recreation. We heard about a connected lifestyle where we can move about safely on foot, in cars, in buses, and also on bikes. Now, being a responsive elected official, I've learned to give people what they want. The 419 Town Center Plan will incorporate South Peak, Tanglewood Mall, and other undeveloped properties. The plan will emphasize connectivity and convenience while positioning Roanoke County for future economic growth. And there's no question that if our region is to continue to grow, we must solve the challenge of our airport. Dependable, reliable, and reasonably priced air travel is available in every prospering community in our country. For our future, we must have an airport that serves the needs of residents and businesses alike. Through the excellent work of our Airport Commission, along with our Airport Director, Tim Bradshaw, and his staff, we are making progress. In September, the FAA awarded the airport a $4 million grant to improve key infrastructure. Still, there's more to be done. I know that Tim and his staff are working diligently to expand service at the airport. They are traveling around the country, they're meeting with airlines, and they're talking about how we can improve air service in Roanoke. I also know they're meeting with local businesses to see how we can tip the economic scales of airline decision-making in Roanoke's favor. We all have to work on the demand side of the equation. Only increased numbers of business and leisure travels will persuade the airline industry to offer more connections at competitive rates. So when you're traveling for business or for leisure, check flights, compare prices, fly Roanoke first. The opportunities to work together to connect with each other and make our region more exceptional have never been greater. A few weeks ago, we announced with our partners in the city of Roanoke and the city of Salem to purchase 106 acres at the intersection of Interstates 81 and 581. Our three jurisdictions working through the Western Virginia Regional Industrial Facility Authority have agreed to jointly purchase this gateway property. Future development at this site will target high-wage, high-value projects that raise the county's profile while strengthening the overall economy. This is just one project that demonstrates how, by working together at a regional level, we can achieve more than any one of us acting alone. It's all connected. And although our region has enjoyed many successes, there's more that we need to do. When the Board of Supervisors approved the broadband effort in the county last spring, we did so with an eye on the future. That same kind of forward thinking has to be applied to other areas of our community as well. Southwest Virginia has struggled for years to win state and federal funding to meet our transportation needs. Other areas in the Commonwealth do not struggle as we do because they've taken matters into their own hands. Northern Virginia and Hampton Roads, the two biggest economic engines of our state, have been granted the ability to raise revenue for transportation projects. These localities can leverage local dollars with additional state funding to make significant improvements to their transportation networks. In Southwest Virginia, we do not have the authority to raise revenue for transportation needs, but we should. The playing field for transportation funding is not level. It's all uphill. And while we have some strong advocates in the General Assembly and on the Commonwealth Transportation Board, there are others who dismiss this idea that we can and should have a greater ability to address our own transportation issues. How can we effectively and fairly compete for state transportation dollars in a system that allows only a select few to raise local revenue for projects? A system that rewards the investment of local funds must also make it possible for local funds to be generated, not for just a few jurisdictions, but for all jurisdictions. Our region must insist that Richmond give us the ability to locally invest in our transportation needs, the same ability granted to other parts of Virginia. Another challenge from the state that has affected local government is the delivery of mental health services. Our current system is a mixture of programs built on the idea that local government and private providers will effectively meet the mental health needs of our communities. The system is fractured, it's underfunded, and favors emergency services over early intervention. Our public safety agencies have been forced to play an ever-increasing role in delivering frontline support for citizens in crisis. By not addressing mental illness as a medical condition deserving of effective treatment, we are left with few options to help individuals and families who suffer. Our law enforcement, our corrections, our legal systems are not the tools we should be using to help individuals in crisis. Yet these are the only tools that we have, as more appropriate options, treatment options, are not available in our community. I do applaud the state's recent effort to look at how the mental health system functions and how it might be improved. However, I caution that any solution that claims to fix the problem by shuffling around beds, programs, and staff is no solution at all. Can the mental health delivery system become more efficient? Certainly, but not without thoughtful reform and a commitment of resources to ensure those with mental health issues are helped, not ignored. And we will keep doing our part to make the system better. But until meaningful reform takes place, our police officers will continue to receive crisis intervention training, along with our social workers, our paramedics, our sheriff deputies, and all of our staff that work with the public each day. Beyond the challenge of mental health services, another ingredient to our future success must be a continued emphasis on education. I'm very excited about all the attention career and technical training has received in the last couple of years. I am very grateful to our members of our legislative delegation, especially Delegate Chris Head, for keeping this issue on the forefront of discussion. They have worked to develop a quality CTE program that includes our schools, Virginia Western Community College, and our business community. For us to deliver tomorrow's workforce, we must place more value in career and technical education by showing students the many CTE opportunities that will be available to them in our new economy. Let's make sure that we help our high school curricula, and let's make sure that we develop a high school curricula necessary for all students' success. Whether that success takes form in a certificate program, a credential program, a 2-year technical degree, or a 4-year bachelor degree. Our business community must take lead role in working with our schools and our colleges to define how our CTE programs are tailored. I know that our educational system provides exceptional learning opportunities. Let's make sure that those learning opportunities produce the workforce our businesses need. The shortest path to retaining young people in our community is to make sure that they have meaningful, productive, and well-paying jobs available to them after high school. Our prospects for the future are bright. Our citizens want positive change for Roanoke County. This desire is reflected in every citizen who works with government to make their community a better place. It has truly been my honor and privilege to serve as the Roanoke County Chairman for the last 2 years. I've enjoyed a front row seat for all the significant changes that are happening even as we speak. As a lifelong resident of the county, I'm excited to see the energy and enthusiasm in our community and how it's growing and changing for the better. Let's continue to work together. Let's stay connected to each other and make the Roanoke Valley even greater than it is today. Let's not just be open to change, but let's embrace our future and the possibilities before us. And let's remember that every positive thing we do, every effort we undertake for the good of our community connects us all to the future we all want to see. Thank you, and may God bless you.
Gosh, thank you for the excellent update, Chairman Peters and Mike, and some of your comments. And I've got to tell this, I was in Martinsville a good part of the day on Saturday and Saturday evening with community leaders, and they said, how do you do it? How does Roanoke come through the recession, the development we have, the jobs, how do you do it? And I think you, Jason and Mike both hit it. It's working together, and that's got to stay top of mind, and I think we do a good job of that, and we can't let go of that. If we're going to go into the future and continue to build on what we have taking place today, we have to remember to work together. So thank all of our legislators, our businesses today helping the schools. We heard from Mike on that. I applaud your efforts on that. I don't think there's any better investment that you can make than putting it in education. So thank all the businesses who partner for that. The Chamber looks forward to working with the county on many of the initiatives discussed today. They're essential for our county, the region, and the region's business community. There are flyers with times for the replay on RVTV available at your table and at the information table as you leave. Please save the date. We've got another great event coming up, the State of the Commonwealth, Tuesday, December 6th at the Patrick Henry Ballroom. One more way that we keep you top of mind on legislation and public policy and our efforts for economic development. Also, please save the date for the 127th annual meeting of the membership on January 10th at the Hotel Roanoke and Conference Center. I'd like to take this opportunity to again thank our sponsors. Without them, this event would not be possible. Appalachian Power, Carillion Clinic, Cox, First Citizens Bank, Poe and Crunk Real Estate Group, and RGC Resources. Thank you for attending today, and have a great rest of your day.